Good evening, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So on the table today, I've got a recently acquired, as in today, engine that I've never had before, which is obviously a good thing. And like many of the engines I get, it has a bit of a story that goes with it. So I got this engine off of eBay. And this was over the course of the last couple of weeks or so. So I was looking at this engine, say in the middle of a week. I saw it and I was like, wow, that's a really nice looking engine. Looks new in box. It says new. It didn't say new in box, it just said new. And I looked at it, the pictures, the few pictures. It did look pretty new. So the day, I don't know if it was an auction or if it was a buy it now bid. I don't know. Either way, I put a bid on it. And I think I was overbid, and then I said, well, you know, I'm going to bump my bid up one more time. So it was an auction. And then the auction ended on a Friday morning, and I was at work and I was looking at it. What happened was I ended up, the last little bid I put on there, it was, you know, I won the auction. I was like, wow, this is an engine that I would have thought would have gone for probably twice as much as I paid for it. So I was really excited about that. So this was a Friday morning and I was at work. So I waited and waited, and then Sunday came around. No information on shipping information. And this was an engine that was in Georgia. So I figured, you know, it's not going to take any time at all to get to me. So Sunday comes around, Sunday afternoon comes around, I get no shipping information at all. So I send a message to the seller and I said, hey, is this engine shipped? Can you send me a tracking number? And another 2 days goes by. This puts us at Tuesday. Nothing. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So on Wednesday, I decided to send yet another message and say, hey, you know, wait, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, so Monday, Tuesday. So I was like, hey, you know, do you have tracking information as this engine shipped? Still nothing. So the next day I'm like, okay, this is a little odd, because most eBay sellers that I've dealt with are very good at responding with providing tracking information. They may not give you a message or anything, but they'll at least put tracking information on there. And I'm like, this thing's from Georgia. Maybe they just omitted putting the tracking number on there. I should just have it. So Wednesday of the following week came by and I was like, this is from Georgia. I bought it on Friday. It should not have taken this long if they just sent it without tracking information. So I sent one final message saying, hey, look, this thing, it says it's supposed to be delivered on Saturday. I said, if I don't get it by Saturday, I'd like to get a refund on this, because obviously there's something went wrong with the transaction. So I finally get an email or a message from the seller saying, hey, I was sick, you know, and I'm, you know, sorry I didn't respond. So I was at work when I got this, and I kind of saw it and I was like, okay, cool. You know, at least they acknowledged that they, you know, they have it, they got my messages and that type of thing. And then I couldn't respond at work or anything, so I look at my phone another 15-20 minutes later and there's another message saying I've got a refund. And I'm like, wait a minute here, I didn't want a refund, I want the engine. So long story short, I sent them a message back and said, hey, I didn't want a refund, I really want this engine. Could you please find a way so I could still buy it from you? Well, about an hour or two later, I get a message from them, and maybe it was after I got home. They said, I just sent it to you anyway, and you can pay for it when you get it. And I was like, well, that's not cool. I sent them a message immediately when I saw that, and I said, just send me your PayPal information or create an invoice, and I'll pay you for the engine right now. And it already had a tracking number generated. So I got no response. So I saw the tracking number was generated, so I started watching the tracking number every day. And for a day or so, it didn't do anything. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Then eventually it went from Georgia to Tennessee. And I'm like, really? Why is it going to Tennessee? That's the opposite direction. Well, finally, long story short, which I know this is already a long story, it got here. And as soon as it got here today, I opened it up, took a quick look at it. I sent the seller an email and said, hey, the engine's here. I'm willing to pay exactly what I, paid for it to begin with, because that was what the seller said. They said, well, when you get it, just let me know what you want to pay for it. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I sent them a message today saying, hey, I got the engine, it looks great, it's as described. I want to pay the same amount that I paid for it. I have yet to hear from them yet. So, in the meantime, here's what the engine is. It is a Webra engine. Pretty, not, I won't say rare,